So our acrylic is almost ready. When I squeezed the bowl, it came clean away from the bowl. It had some, if it's got some dry white areas around them, you can just pick them off and throw them away. Now, if I stretch this, see how the acrylic is ripping and going into threads? That means that it's not quite ready yet. However, it should be ready soon. Don't sit there and pull it apart multiple times, because what will happen is the acrylic, as you pull it apart, thins, and then the monomer on that part of the acrylic can start to evaporate, and you'll end up with white lines all through your acrylic. While we're waiting for that, I'll get the press ready here. You'll notice that the press is under pressure with this aluminum disc in it. This is the way that a press should be stored. If you keep it under pressure, that will extend the life of the press and the seals in the press. So I'm going to release the pressure, screw this up so I can take out the disc. This disc I can also use for deflasking. And I'll screw the press open enough to allow me to put the flask in once we've packed. I have my silicone sheets, my cellophane separating sheets back here. The acrylic is still a little bit soft, but I can start. This is a partial denture. A lot of people don't trial pack a partial denture. I do. Not all the time, but most of the time. So I've put acrylic around the framework, and I'm putting acrylic on the teeth. 2 layers of cellophane on the side with the teeth, and then turn it over. Close the flask and put it in the press. Now this acrylic is still fairly soft, so I've got lots of time. So I'm going to take time. You do not have to rush. It's so soft that right now I can screw this down by hand. Close the valve for the hydraulic press. I'm going to slowly pump this up. Now I've put a fair bit of acrylic in there, so I should get some excess coming out. You can see the pressure going up. You can see a little excess starting to come out here. You don't have to rush. You've got lots of time. So there's a little bit of acrylic starting to squeeze out over here. The pressure will go up as I press it. So we want to bring the pressure up to 100 bars and hold it at 100 bars. Didn't put in as much excess there as I thought, which is fine. If the pressure, notice that the pressure is falling, that means the acrylic is flowing around inside the flask. That's what we want to happen. As the acrylic flows around, you get a pressure drop. Okay, so let's open this up, see how it looks. And it looks really soft. So you can see how the flash, the excess acrylic, you can see how the excess acrylic has spread. This is called our flash. We want to take that out because it has a thickness. it's separating the two halves of our flask from each other. Notice that the color of the acrylic right now is a kind of milky pink. It's very light. That means that it wasn't completely ready to be pressed, which is fine. We've got lots of time. So I know that I had enough acrylic in there. So my acrylic now, it's getting to the stage. See how it's going snappy? It's now getting to the stage that it's good for working. When we started, it was a little bit soft. You notice that the surface is a little crusty. So what I'm going to do is take some from the inside here. It's kind of got a bubble gum consistency right now. I'm going to trial pack that again with 2 layers. So I've put a little extra acrylic. I'm going to keep the teeth side down so the teeth don't fall out when I turn it over. You can see some more flash this time. So you can see a little bit of flash starting to come out over here. Let that sit for a minute. Again, you don't have to rush. Give it time. Let the acrylic flow around. Especially on a case like this, I've used silicone, so the silicone compresses too. So you have to give the silicone a little time to recover, and it'll press the acrylic out. We'll open this up. My teeth came out, but no big deal. I'll just put them back. Looking better, the color's much denser. Take off this excess flash, and we're just about ready. This is our final press, so no cellophane. So I can leave that now for a couple of minutes. If the pressure drops, I can pump it back up. I'll let the acrylic flow around before I transfer this to the curing compress.